All right, and we're back. I got my next victim with me here. If you're just tuning in, this is the Homeowner Show. We are live from, where are we? I forgot. Moonshine Deck.
Moonshine Deck,
In Montgomery, Texas. That's right.
Or Magnolia.
I think technically they say this is Magnolia, but I feel like
it's a weird line they got through here between Magnolia and Montgomery.
I feel like this is Magnolia. I mean, I feel like this is Montgomery, not Magnolia.
Right.
I feel like Magnolia's that one of these ways.
Right, yeah. They kind of smashed it. It's almost like you got Conroe, Montgomery, and Magnolia all hitting the same location.
Tomball tries to sneak its way in. Get that one out of there. So, anyways, I'm here with Robert. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name is Robert Biehle. I'm with RWB Electrical. We do residential and commercial service work. Basically, any kind of repairs you need for literally anything. Lighting, adding plugs, troubleshooting something that doesn't work. We also do like generators, standby generators, like portable generators, or even whole home generators. We deal with Generac. We provide the whole system turnkey. We also deal with permitting if needed. If you're in the city limits, and obviously the county doesn't require permits, so we can handle almost anything you need electrically.
That standby generator business is probably just about to start picking up, huh?
Yes, usually hurricane season it gets real popular. Yes.
I know. I've lived in the same house for 14 years, and every year I'm like, all right, we're getting a generator. We never do it.
Right.
But one of these years we will.
Well, it's the thing is you don't realize you need one until you need one. You know, it's like it's the back of your mind.
Yeah. Man, I mean, we've actually been fortunate through hurricanes. When we needed it was the deep freeze. That was a bad one for us.
2 years ago? Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Man. I had like a 7-month-old daughter at the time, and my son was probably 3 at the time. And we lost power for 6 days, I think. And
wow,
it got pretty cold. It wasn't a lot of fun with an infant being that cold.
Right. Well, being the power out, like if you got a gas home, it's not so bad because it's easy to get your heater to work and just put a little bit of power to start your igniter for your furnace.
Yeah.
But they were doing rolling blackouts on gas.
That was the problem, man.
Yes.
Every time we would get going, it would cut off.
So that was horrible. Even if you had a standby generator, you was out of commission until they turned the gas back on.
Yeah.
You know, so
what's the most interesting job you've had recently?
Well, let's see. We do so much work. A lot of stuff we do is small projects because we got out of the big project game and focused more on smaller projects. But I don't know. We done a remodel on some bathrooms. We do a lot of boat docks, especially like around Lake.
I didn't think about that.
The boat docks at Lake Conroe. A lot of people have lighting outages or their boat dock lifts. Their boat lifts don't work. The motor stops.
Those boat lifts are. I mean, we're a little bit lucky that Lake Conroe is freshwater. It's not quite as hard as down on the coast, but man, those things are just exposed to the elements all the time, and you're always having issues with those.
And you'd be surprised. Bugs, ants, hornets. They build little homes around stuff, and they wind up tearing your electrical up as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yep.
And of course, you always have moisture and humidity.
That's correct. Yeah, we're in the south. Yeah, for
summertime on the lake, it's like an armpit.
Yes, sir.
So that's cool. And you guys do, like you said, residential and commercial. Do you ever get into any light industrial at all?
No, we don't do industrial a whole lot. We do heavy commercial. Usually, if you start getting, well, it all depends. We deal with some industrial companies if it's not actually in a plant.
Yeah.
Plant requires some heavy-duty insurance.
Yeah, you have to have crazy umbrella insurance.
Yeah,
and
like
then
5 or 10
safety classes to get in there and all that stuff.
So it's pretty pricey to get in there, and it's only worth it if you get a lot of work.
Yeah.
In order to cover that expense.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's historically we haven't had a ton of plants around here, but actually, I just read the other day they announced a huge expansion up in Conroe.
Oh, really?
Not the Huntsman facility. It's another different facility up there, but it's a pretty significant project up there.
I don't think I've heard of it. That's something we can take a look at for sure.
We have some hidden gems up there for sure.
Yeah, sometimes when if we're not too busy like me, I'm usually in the office all the time, along with Christy, who usually is the one answering the phone. I'll wander around. I'll start driving around and checking like industrial type or commercial type facilities. Because those are the kind of things we like, because usually there are a lot of warehouse or manufacturing, they use a lot of product and stuff gets damaged, lighting, switches, plugs, or you're going to use them, nonstop all day long every day. So the repeat business on those are great. And don't get me wrong, residential is good as well too.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of word of mouth, so that's great.
Well, and you do service calls, so you're not doing new installs.
No, we used to. It's just it became something that we didn't want to do anymore. We've been doing it for 15 years, especially commercial. It was heavy commercial, new construction, like fast food restaurants, banks, brand new ground ups. And we was doing service, but maybe 10% of it, like little piddly stuff on the side. And then we just got to the point where we was done, and we wanted to bring it back down to something, keep it simple. So we kind of downsized and attacked at that, and honestly, we like it a lot better. And we get a lot of positive feedback from our customers. Commercial, they don't care about you. Do your job.
Yeah.
Residential people, I love you. And my guys like it a lot better to get attaboys.
Well, and then they're telling their 10 friends and raving fans about you. That's one thing about the capital side of things. Like when you're doing those new builds, new constructions, like you said, fast food restaurants and everything like that. Those companies, those big companies like that, literally have a capital expenditures team watching every penny of that.
You got a deadline, and it has to be met regardless.
Right, and there's punitive damages if you don't. And
That's exactly right.
And then also you're holding, maybe you have 90-day payment terms or something like that, and you're having to pay your guys out of pocket every Friday.
That's correct. So that's why, like those jobs like that, you need multiple of them. So we used to have 3 or 4 restaurants going at a time, and possibly a bank. So you're kind of robbing Peter to pay you. The money from this job is paying for this job.
Yeah, exactly. But then you got a problem over here, but you've already paid these folks, and now you're cash poor for the next 2 months, 3 months.
And then that's where service work comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because you get paid now. So we'd have that over here, and that would help. So it's juggling money.
I see what you're saying, too, though. The clientele is just so much more appreciative on the service side.
Definitely.
Just because you're fixing a defined problem.
Sure. It's something that they need, that they use on a regular basis that no longer works. Hey, I am like I saved the day for you.
Well, you find somebody who can't get their car out of the garage because the garage door opener isn't working, or half of their house is dark, or half of their business is dark, something like that.
And there's a lot of instances that customers don't know what the problem is. They're thinking it's like, I would get a lot of calls. Hey, half my house isn't working, or I was like, well, usually if half your house isn't working, maybe you lost the leg coming to your house. Try something that works on 240. Does your AC work?
Yeah, try your dryer.
Does your electric stove come on, or your dryer? If it doesn't, you probably lost the leg.
Yeah.
I'm going to save you some money. Instead of me coming out there and charging you for a service charge, call the power company. They'll come out for free, like a CenterPoint or Entergy or Mid-South, whoever you're going to use. They'll come out for free, check your stuff, boom. Didn't cost you anything. That power company, has a transformer issue, the fuse needs to be replaced. They hit it, boom, you're back in business, and it didn't cost you a dime.
Yeah,
some electrical companies don't do that. Oh, yeah, we'll send somebody over there knowing probably,
No, not to mention they have 30-year-old underground service or something like that.
and that happens also. Sometimes your underground feeders are bad.
Oh, man, I live down in Spring, and we have like a hybrid system. It's maybe half underground, half above.
Sure.
And we've had more problem with the underground portion than we have the overhead.
It really all depends.
It was
on
an early adoption.
Sure.
Of course, it's aluminum conductors. You find a lot of aluminum conductor in utility. That's just the way it is. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just the quality of the materials used and the labor that was done when the developer originally did my neighborhood. Is that, man, it's not even, we don't have wind issues. We have rain issues.
Right, definitely.
Moisture and all those, the concrete pads they put in 20 years ago to set the transformers are, leaning this way, and half of them are underwater, and stuff like that. So.
And aluminum is still the standard for underground. A lot of people. Aluminum got a bad rap back in the day because
that was because of trailer homes. That wasn't even accurate.
In old homes,
of course, you don't want aluminum necessarily in your walls, and we still don't do that today.
No,
but there are ways to address it if you do. Like you guys probably come in and put pigtails and all that.
It all depends how bad. There's a lot of factors involved in that one. You have to really take a look at it. It's kind of hit and miss.
Because it can be too bad.
Or you might have to rewire your whole house. That's a possibility. There's dealing with aluminum. There's so many factors involved in it. You got to see what kind of situation you're having to see where you fit in at.
Yeah. Well, being in real estate in Conroe, man, I've encountered a lot of unique situations with electrical. There was a home I was selling it's not River Plantation, but it's north and it's to the west side of 45. There's a golf course over there, and I cannot think of the name of it. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
There was an industrial fuse box on the house.
Oh, wow.
So instead of having like a main breaker disconnect or anything, it had an industrial open fuse. Like you needed to have like an insulated glove to throw this fuse. And it was just like
I can't say I've seen that one before. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I don't know if I've seen that before.
we had city inspectors, we had home inspectors, we had everybody come out, and they were like, yeah, we're not touching this. And we ended up having to walk away.
Right.
Somebody ended up buying the house, but it was just great. And I'm sure you find stuff like that all
Oh,
the
yeah,
time.
definitely. I mean, there's certain things that we have to, like some people, and this is generally, if you're within city limits, is where a lot of this takes effect, is you go and, like, say the breaker box needs to be replaced. If it's not an outside disconnect, it's required by code. If I got to change the panel, if it's outside or inside, it doesn't matter. Well, if the panel's outside, it's not a big deal. He's got an outside main breaker, but the inside panel, then you got to have a disconnect outside as by current code. And it has to be done, or something I have to, because if this requires inspections, I can't pass the inspection to get your power turned back on.
Right.
And then here we are stuck with a problem.
Yeah.
And the customer's like, well, all I need is my panel replaced. Yes, I understand that is true.
But we can't do that without doing this.
Yeah, by current code, I have to add this, or the city's not going to pass the inspection. I can't get your power turned back on.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is that those codes can be annoying and they are irritating at times, and they end up costing you a lot of money sometimes. But they also pay for the peace of mind.
That is true.
There's a big safety
and also
factor to that.
and if you're going to sell, that's one.
Yeah, you
box
have,
you can
you
check
have
off.
to be up to code.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
no matter what the inspector says, and even if they say, we're not going to ask for any repairs or anything, when a safety issue comes up, that ask changes.
That's exactly right. And I think those inspectors love doing what they do, because their list is long when they go through a house. Like,
I love the inspectors that come back and say, the breaker box isn't labeled. And I'm like, look, man, it's a 40-year-old house. Nobody ever cared to label it. I'll come over with a magic marker. But it makes everybody's. I understand it makes life easier.
Sure,
At the same time. But anyways, well, Robert, thanks for jumping on, man. Tell us how we can find your business.
Well, shoot, you can find us online easily. Google, we're on Google. You can also, our website is RWB at rwbelectricalservices.com. Our office line is 832-307-7967. Christy usually answers the phone. She's a bundle of joy to talk to. She's very helpful, so call us anytime, and we're glad to help.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, folks. If you need a service call for your electrical needs, residential or commercial.
And we're on Facebook,
on Facebook, RWB Electric.
That's right.
All right, we're going to find you. They're going to find you, too. I appreciate you being here with us, man.
Awesome. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be back shortly.